Just wanted to let you all in on this very adorable kitten action right now. This is Ray, and he is just enjoying life pretty tremendously right now. Hello. Happy 4th of July, which is right now today. This video is coming to you from Charlottesville, the place where Thomas Jefferson dwelt. I'm about 10 minutes from Monticello, and it is feeling really, really cool to be here right now. So I have been getting a bit of a universal nudge to make this video for a little while, last few weeks, and then I realized 4th of July was coming, so it's the perfect time to make it. And I just want to share with you from the heart my feelings about America right now, and maybe some universal guidances for us. And when I say us, I mean every single person in the country. So, oh my God, they are wanting me just to dive right in. Okay, I will just dive right in, kind of like Ray. So, America is a country full of totally unique and different people, cultures, ethnicities, personalities. We're just like this crazy, diverse soup. And although in other countries, maybe when you go to a city, certain cities, like you'll find also diversity, there's nothing like America. Nope. Nothing like the experiment that we are undertaking right now in this country and that we have been undertaking for a couple hundred years. And this experiment comes with challenges, of course, which we can see, playing out politically. Democrat, Republican, for example, white. Okay, I'm not going to go there. And I think right now there's a lot of feeling of heaviness about this situation, especially when it comes to politics, and especially when it comes to both of those sides, except you really can't break it down like that, and it will never work. So that's illusion number one, is that you can break it down into sides. That's not true. Oh my God. But it certainly can feel that way. And, oh my goodness. All right, so continuing to be very direct. These polarities, which of course we know have existed in this country since the time of the Civil War, this is not new, and this simultaneous, this incredible experiment of diversity is a part of our growth as souls. It's a growth opportunity, and it's something that if we don't step into, and if we don't step into the love, then both any aspect that isn't feeling that love is going to become polarized, which means if it's feeling rejected and not feeling like, if it's feeling like it's like something's trying to annihilate it, it will polarize itself. So now in the country, what we see is that both sides are getting more polarized than ever. And I also, once again, I use the word sides very carefully because that's not accurate. And I think that that's kind of the whole point, is when we meet somebody who, okay, let me just pause for a moment. Okay, So I will come back to that. So America is the land of the free and the home of the brave. So even though we have these challenges, I'm currently in Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm 10 minutes away from Thomas Jefferson's home, Monticello, and though he was not perfect, these were a group of people who were trying to create something very different from the existing monarchy systems, and a system where ideally, and which has been put into practice, states would largely govern their own individuality. Once again, the same, but then also come together as one country. Once again, that same theme that what America is, groups of diversity somehow figuring out ways to work together. That's the experiment. So what have we seen from America in this experiment? If you really look into your heart as a citizen of this country, thinking about, had you been born in a different place, how would your life be right now? And I think that that's a really important question to ask. I think sometimes we can get caught up in the places where America has not acted perfectly, which is certainly true. But at the same time, there's so many incredible privileges and blessings. And I don't say that in a way that America is the best country ever. I also don't think that that's true, obviously, because I really value diversity. But I do feel very privileged to be living here because I know how free I am. Here is my home at the moment. It is a beautiful place where I get to pay very affordable rent. And I am able to work in jobs that I like. And even though we don't always act on it because we've been conditioned otherwise, the possibilities here are very, very powerful. And basic needs are covered. There's healthcare, there's all of these. A little quick aside story is my grandfather is actually a Holocaust survivor. So I grew up being told very clearly that this was a country where we would be safe, for example, even though we were different. Not necessarily the case, and we found out in many other places. And I deeply value that, and I think the fact that, yes, once again, things are not perfect. You'll hear that from many voices, but even still, the possibility of social mobility in this country, the fact that different, religions and ethnicities are copulating and just communicating and coming together. Now we're seeing this, I do think, through the internet and through other means, we're seeing this more and more around the world. But America was really a special place for this. And I want to honor and love that about this country. It's really beautiful. And I think it's important for all of us to deeply remember that and hold gratitude for this experiment that we are in the middle of. Another little break. I do this so things can kind of sink in. And I think when we do get caught up in the places where America hasn't been perfect, I think we can, or has been bad, not just perfect, has been bad, I think we can miss out on that greater picture. This is still a democratic country. For the most part, this is not a corrupt country, and we are very blessed to have that opportunity. And it is very much up to us to know its value and to continue to cultivate and take care of it. Because oftentimes I feel like the universe gives you something for free in a sense, but then it's up to you to know how wonderful something is and to choose to engage with it in order to continue it and make it even better. And I feel like that's what, especially with this election season, that's what we're being called to do. And I hope I have not lost you yet. I'm going to keep going because this feels important. So a friend's father works for a congressman. I will not say his political party, but He was expressing that the general feeling in Congress is also very polarized, generally speaking. And it's hard, as you know, I know that you're probably saying, yes, we know that, blah, blah, blah. Well, guess what? That's what we're supposed to be working on. Not just congressmen. All of us are supposed to be working on that. And the first step to working on that is looking in your heart and well, there's many steps. But I think one of them is noticing, what is your language relating to other people who you think are on your side or on the other side? And are you dehumanizing them? Are you thinking of them as an idiot? And just looking into your heart, are you thinking of them as less human? Because I promise you that's probably going both ways. And by less, I think the one point that I would like to complete this video on is the idea that all of us every human holds both love and understanding of something that they feel deeply about. And maybe it is a truth that they, because of their life experience and their work, and who knows why, but it's something that they have the loving idea about. And everybody also has areas where they can have their eyes opened more and they have room for growth. And even if somebody has one part of the puzzle perfectly and another person totally doesn't have that part of the puzzle, I promise there will be another area that person can offer to you. And the really tricky thing is, how can two diverse entities, where sometimes it feels like one person, it's a very sacred process to not shut down in that process. And both, all entities involved need to do it. And I think it can be another common statement to say, well, those people will never do it, blah, 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 they're stupid or whatever. But be careful with that, because that right there is actually your sacred work, is how do you show up to the table with that kind of understanding, that you've both got a different piece of the puzzle and the love understanding, and you can both grow from one another. And some parts of what your understanding is and parts of what their understanding is might not be sacredly aligned with love. But if you approach it, okay, last thing I'm going to say, I promise. If you approach it from a place of resistance or trying to change them, or really, if you want to put it simply, cognitive dissonance and fear, which means, if I don't change something in you, this is a problem, you're ruining everything, and I need to fix this because I'm afraid of that lack of love. It's a fear loop. I promise you that is the energy of polarization that both sides are perceiving of one another and feeling like the other one is perceiving of them. And last thing, okay, universe wants me to let you all breathe, because you can even take a deep breath. It's okay that this is what we're in the middle of. This is the experiment this is the beautiful sacred experiment of America, which enables us to grow love. And now we're being called to engage in it. Last thing I'm going to read to you. The beauty is in the process of doing what we are doing. Truly different coming together to create something even better. So with that, I wish you a beautiful July 4th.